Hi, it's Elise here at Bowman Library and our teen section with a whole new teen book spotlight. So our theme for this week is books that feature siblings. They can be older, they can be younger, they can be pesky, they can be loving, they can feature, that love-hate relationship, or they could just be, they are great and everyone gets along and they are like, the perfect siblings. So we have 6 books that we're going to take a look at today, and maybe you'll be inspired to read a book about some siblings. So our first one is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. Xiomara is a 15-year-old Dominican American living in Harlem with her family and twin brother Xavier. Her father is pretty much absent from the family, even though he is there, and her mother is very religious and demands that her children be religious as well, and she has extremely high expectations of Xiomara. Xiomara feels like she can't talk to anyone, including her twin, who is completely different from her, but she is able to express herself through poetry in her leather-bound journal. At school, her English teacher encourages her to join the Slam Poetry Club, but it meets at the same time as the classes she's expected to attend at church. But Xiomara tries to live her own life, and secrets both she and Xavier are hiding start to come out and test the bounds of everyone in their family, including their brother-sister relationship. This amazing novel and verse will keep you in suspense, but you will also be able to relate to Xiomara as she tries to find herself in this world, as she's dealing with her identity, and where she has a role in her family. The Poet X. When I Was the Greatest by Jason Reynolds. Jason Reynolds can do no wrong. Allie lives with his mother and kid sister named Jazz in Brooklyn, and his best friends are brothers Noodles and Needles, and they live in the rundown brownstone just next door. The 3 of them spend all of their time together, and occasionally they get into a little bit of trouble, but nothing crazy. Each of them have their own thing, though, that keeps them grounded. For Allie, it's boxing. Noodles has his comic books, and Needles has his knitting, which he finds helps to calm his Tourette syndrome. One night their friend Tasha is able to get them into an exclusive adults-only party, and it's at that party things start to get out of hand. And there's one event that happens that night that changes everything. This urban realistic book is pretty much amazing. It will keep you right in the moment with the 3 best friends as they learn from what happened as well as deal with the consequences from that event. When I Was the Greatest. Bridge of Clay by Marcus Zusak. The 5 Dunbar brothers have been living without their father, who took off when their mother died of cancer a few years ago, before our story begins. One day, though, he comes back and he begs them to help him build a bridge. And it's the only sibling that offers to help is Clay. He's the second youngest, and he knows it's going to cause problems between him and his brother, but he views this as an opportunity to try to get to know and understand his dad. Throughout this story, you find out what happens between the various family members and why they are the way they are today, especially when it comes to their relationships with their family members and others. So there are, some time jumps in this story that at times are a little confusing, so you do need to keep track of what's past and what's present. But this epic saga, and I will admit it is pretty lengthy, it's over 500 pages, will make you feel and see the value of family and how the past impacts everyone into the present and future. If you loved The Book Thief, you will enjoy this book written by the same author, but just be prepared, it's completely different from The Book Thief. This is Bridge of Clay. The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. So it's the 1700s, and friends Monty and Percy and Monty's sister Felicity are on a tour around the continent, that would be Europe, enjoying life and causing trouble before Monty has to go home and take over the family estate, which he does not want to do. When Monty is caught in a compromising position at Versailles, The three of them, though, find themselves being chased across Europe and having run-ins with pirates, highwaymen, stowaways, alchemy, and secrets that are bound to catch up to them. Filled with adventure, history, especially when it comes to how culture and views of individuals sort of minority groups were back in the 1700s. There's also a little bit of magic, a touch of romance, and you will find yourself wanting to read the next book in this series as soon as you are done with this one. So if you like your historical fiction with a little bit of magic and some epic adventure and some craziness, The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. Jude and Noah are fraternal twins, growing artists, and are inseparable until they find themselves competing for everything. From their parents' attention to a spot at a prestigious art school, and even the same boys. They both have the ability to not only help each other, but to also tear the other one apart, and before they know it, the gap between them keep growing as the family goes through deeper trials and hardships. Told in 2 points of view, Noah's is at age 13 and his sister's Jude at age 16, the whole story comes together in the end, and you find yourself cheering for these siblings who have their lives taken in 2 completely different directions after tragedy occurs, and you want them to come back together again. I'll Give You the Sun. And our last one for today is Blood Red Road by Moira Young. 18-year-old Saba and her twin brother Lou live on the outskirts of Wrecker City, this desolate post-apocalyptic city with a bleak outlook. One day, though, the dreadful Tauntaun descend on the city, killing her father and capturing Lou. He is going to be used as a sacrifice in order for the Tauntaun king to live. Saba decides she needs to go after her brother, and she sets off across this dangerous desert with her younger sister in tow. As they cross this desert, though, Saba is captured and forced to fight for her life in an arena against other captured girls. When some women warriors come to her aid, things start to change, but she still has to find Lou and save him. A dystopian that will keep you on the edge of your seat, and it will make you ask, what would you do to save a family member of your own? Blood Red Road. So these are just 6 of the books that we have here at the library that feature siblings, and I promise we do have others. So maybe if you want a book about sibling but not one of these, come on in and we will help you find what it is that you're looking for. I hope to see you next week for a whole new theme with our Teen Book Spotlight, and I hope you have a great week.